All right guys, so that's good. It seems to be working. Okay, it looks like we fixed it. Now we can leave it the way it is, or we can replace this switch just to be 100% sure. But since this is not really hard to remove, I'm just gonna leave it like this because I'm sure this is fixed now. So we are in park, step. All right, so that's good. I feel comfortable with this. So now I'm going to put everything back together. And after that, this should be fixed. Actually, I think I'm gonna have to replace this. So as you can see, our plunger is now releasing. So we're good to go. We have fixed it. So bending the little metal band on this switch fixed it. Okay, so this is good. Now let's put everything back together. All right, so this is good. So now let's put the nuts back on so we can have this car out of here. I have changed my mind, okay, because although we have fixed this, it's now working, but I did go ahead and got this whole assembly, okay, from the junkyard, okay, because I was expecting this plunger to be bad. But since I have this, I know that this switch is good and it's working. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to remove this switch, okay, from this selector I have. So this switch that I got from a junkyard, I trust this switch better than the original one that's on this gear selector. So I'm gonna remove that one and then I'm gonna install this one, because the last thing I want is a comeback. I don't want this vehicle coming back here with the same issue. Although this is working now, but I'm gonna replace this switch just to be safe, okay? Now, pushing this little metal piece works, okay? You can just push it and then you'll be good to go. But since I have this switch, I'm gonna go ahead and replace it, just to be 1000% sure. Okay. So here is the junkyard switch, and this is the original one, so I'm going to disconnect it. We're going to install the junkyard switch just like that. Let's see if it works. Okay, so this is what I'm going to install. All right, so let's try this now. So right there, this one is releasing too. Okay, so when I step on the brake pedal, it releases. Now we can move our shifter selector to reverse and the other gears. All right, so that's good. Okay, now you might say, why did you change it? I guess the old switch could have worked, but since the other switch, we know that it came from a non-good unit and that vehicle had very, very low miles. So I am going to feel comfortable with this junkyard switch, okay? But bending the strip on that switch also does the trick. So it's up to you. You don't have to replace it, but just to avoid a comeback, that's why I'm replacing mine, okay? So now let's put everything back together. So we are in park. I step on the brakes, releases. So that's good. Okay, so this is the old switch. So bending this little metal strip over here was gonna do the trick. But since I had it, why not? Okay, why not replace it since we have it? All right, so at this point, everything I'm gonna do is the reverse process of the removal process. Okay. All right, so now the next step is installing our shifter cable. All right. All right, so that's good. Our shifter cable is installed. So now let's install our center console. So now here comes our center console. So we're gonna make sure that everything lines up here. Just like that. Okay. So now we're gonna install these screws that go over here. I'm gonna install the first one and then the second one that goes over here. So now we're gonna tighten these screws. Now this car needed a little bit of stuff. We also replaced spark plugs on it and our tie rods, and then a lower oil pan. We did an oil change. So now the only thing she's gotta do is get her tires changed and then she should be good to go. So now I'm gonna reconnect this electrical connector here, just like that, and it's gonna go right there. Okay, very good. So now what's next? Now the next step is installing this piece that goes over here. Okay, and this is the wire for it. So that piece. So let's grab that. This guy. We're gonna reconnect the wire first. And again, I want you guys to bear with me because I am doing this one-handed, and doing this one-handed is not fun sometimes. Okay, so So just like that. Okay. So now we just need to make sure that this lines up. And once it's lined up, we just press it down like this. All right. Perfect. So now the next step is we're gonna install this piece that goes over here. Just like that. We're gonna make sure it's lined up. Then we're gonna push it in. Okay. And then the next step is installing this piece over here. We make sure everything's lined up and then just push it in. Very nice. So now the next step is we're gonna install this gear selector thingy here. Okay, we're gonna put the clip when we are on the passenger seat, so we're good on this side. So now we're gonna install this cover that goes over here. Okay, so this cover just pops in just like that. All right, so that's good. So now let's go on the passenger side and do the same thing. Now the first thing we're gonna do is installing this little clip over here. Just like that. It went in, it's sitting in place. Good, so we're gonna try to pull this up. So this won't come up right now because the clip is sitting in the groove. Now we're gonna push this up. Just like that, easy peasy. So now we're gonna install this piece that goes over here. It looks like it's gonna be easier with this piece out. So we should have installed this one first before installing this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pry that piece out. Let's pry this piece out again. Okay. Okay, so we got that piece removed. So now we're gonna install this one first. Just like that. We're gonna push it up. Look at it down there. Everything looks good. Okay. So now we can reinstall this guy now. All right, so we're making progress. So now we're gonna install the piece that goes over here. We're just gonna push it in like that. All right. And then this is for the shifter lock. This guy. So everything is coming back together. We are making progress. We're almost done. So now the last step is installing this plastic cover that goes over here. All right, so that's good. So now let's install the screws on the back of the center console. We are back here. We're gonna install this screw. All right, let's go on the other side. We're gonna install this one here. All right, so we're good. So now we're gonna install this back cover, this panel here. So everything is lined up, then we're just gonna push it in. Just like that, we're good. All right. All right, so we're gonna reinstall this panel here. All right, so we're good to go. Let's verify our repair before we end this video. So everything is put back together. We replaced the switch under the gear selector. Now let's see if our gear selector is still gonna be stuck in park. So the key is on the dash. Now I'm gonna step on the brake pedal. We are in park right now. I'm gonna step on the brakes. And now I'm moving our gear selector nicely and smoothly like it's supposed to do. Okay, so that's good. When I let off the brake pedal, our gear selector is stuck in park. When I step, actually when you step on the brake pedal, you can actually hear it release. I don't know if the camera is gonna pick this up, but listen. I can actually hear the plunger releasing the gear selector under this center console. Released. Okay. I'm gonna start the engine. So right there, as you can hear, the engine is running. I'm gonna release the park brake. Okay, so the vehicle is in park. I'm gonna put it in reverse. Good. Park. Nice. So I step, reverse, park. All right, so this is good, guys. This is fixed. So the problem was the bottom switch on this gear selector. As you can see, our gear selector is no longer stuck in park. Okay. All right, so that's good. I'm gonna turn off the engine so we can wrap up this video. All right, guys, so that's it. I'm gonna leave this right over here. This is how you fix a gear selector that's stuck in park on this 2013 Nissan Altima with a 2.5 liter. I hope you liked the video. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, give it a thumb down. But if you do, you gotta tell me why so we can make better videos in the future. If you have any comments, questions, criticism, leave them in the comment box. Thanks for watching. See you next time.